Good morning and welcome to the TMS Book Club. My name is Sewela Langeni from Book Circle Capital. We're an independent bookshop that focuses on African literature. And today I'm so excited and honored to have a conversation with Darren August. Welcome.
Thank you, Sewela. It's absolutely amazing to be with you and to be in this beautiful bookstore. You know how I love it.
Congratulations on your book.
Thank you. It's exciting times and I'm extremely proud of this product, I have to say so.
When I saw this book, I was very, very excited because I've attended your master classes on writing a book. And when I saw that you've written this book, and I thought, that's very interesting. And I wanted to know, what is the journey behind this book? How did it come about?
Sure. So I think naturally, when you've written a book, when you've become a best-selling author, when you're in this space, so many people see the work I do, so many people see the success I've experienced, and naturally they reach out and ask the question, how do I get started? How do I get my own book done? And I've realized over the last 9 years that so many people are walking around with this dream inside them of writing and publishing their own book. And so I've been working with authors, I've been coaching authors, but I thought, why not package something where I could really give people a blueprint of how to not just write and publish their book, but actually succeed as an author.
So it makes sense to do a book because the book can spread, right?
Absolutely. I think I've realized just how there's such a need for people to get information. I often say that if I do not publish another book in my lifetime, that's okay. But if I can empower aspiring authors to do it themselves, that's a greater win for me.
That's good. And I love that now you talk about profit. You know, you say packaging, publish, and profit. Because often as a bookseller myself, I know that, you know, we often see this as a passion project and we think that maybe the money will come much later, but I love that you're addressing profit. What are some of the things you talk about when you talk profit in the book?
So one of the things I've realized, and I think so many aspiring authors don't know this, but it's much easier to write a book than what it is to sell a book.
Absolutely.
And so I've definitely, over the last 7 years of coaching authors and the last 9 years as an author, I've realized that what differentiates the average author from a successful and profitable author is strategy. And so that's why in the book I dive so deep into strategy, and I try to drive the message home to authors that it's not good enough to just put out a good message and put out a great book. You have to have strategy of how you are actually going to move these units and get your book into the hands of your ideal reader.
And I love that you say that, because often as a bookseller, people think I wrote a book, that's it. I just leave it there and it's supposed to magically get off the shelf. But in the book, you're empowering people with strategies on how to actually make sure that it sells.
That's it. I've realized that the money is not in your book. And especially in a country like South Africa where there's not a great reading culture, we need to realize that as authors, the money is not in your book, it's around your book. And so very often an author will write a book and you ask them, who's this book for? And what do they say? For everybody.
Can't be.
And if you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. And so it's really about now getting authors to realize that if you are able to tap into a niche, tap into a specific target audience, and almost have an avatar of the person you're writing for, you have such a greater chance of success.
So you're saying the money is around the book. Some of the ideas, without giving too much, because they must still buy a book. One idea.
It's things like speaking, things like workshops, things like creating just other avenues and other income streams around your book. So many people don't realize that there are opportunities for you to get your book into school libraries. There are opportunities for you to use your book as a tool that companies can sponsor as a CSI project to get into reading programs. And so there are tons of opportunities, but it starts with the author really dreaming about their book and asking, I call it a what else mentality, where you need to spend some time sitting and thinking about your book and think, what else? What else could I do with this book? Just dreaming about the possibilities of your book. You would be so surprised at how many revenue streams you can create from just one book.
Sure. As an author now, because you're often wearing many hats, how did you find writing the book?
It was very different. The first book I wrote, I had no knowledge. I had no industry knowledge. I was not able to find a single author who would be prepared to sit down with me, show me the ropes, spend half an hour with me and teach me how to navigate the self-publishing landscape. And so the second book now, 9 years later, I was so much more empowered because I have immersed myself in this space over the last 9 years and taught myself everything I know today. And so it was a much easier journey, but also I had so much clarity in terms of the book that I wanted to put out, because it's become my life's work over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And so it was just such a natural transition into producing this product. And again, I knew exactly who I was writing for. I had in mind all of those authors who have the dream of getting their book to the world. And so I was just crafting and engineering a product for them.
You've done over 100, books for other authors. What are some of the trends you've picked up over time? I mean, it's almost 10 years of experience.
Some of the trends that I've seen emerge is really self-help and personal development books are really in such demand. And I think it's because we're living in a time where people need hope, where people need inspiration.
Absolutely.
And I think people have realized that their stories and their journeys can add so much value to others. And so that is a big part of the reason why at Inspired, those are the kind of books that we publish, is inspirational books that can really get people to take action and become better and have their lives change. And so that's one of the trends that I've seen. I've also seen quite a trend, a growth in digital publishing, where people are now realizing, okay, I don't need to just write for my friends and my family. I can actually publish online and I can get my book to the world. If you are not in a position to get a publisher behind you or get a publisher that believes in your book right away, invest in coaching. And so at the very, very least, get started. Just write. That first page will turn into a chapter, will turn into a paragraph, will turn into a manuscript, and then get it off to an editor who can help you. But it's not going to get anywhere if you don't start. A lot of people also, I find that so many aspiring authors are like, how much is it going to cost me to put this book out? How much, how am I going to publish it? And the money will show up. Help will show up. You just need to get started. Somebody could believe in your book and you could meet them in the taxi tomorrow.
Absolutely.
But if you haven't got a manuscript
to show,
you've got nothing to show, and nobody can invest in your dream. And so just take the first step and just outline your book. Outline your book today. Literally get there, do a mind map, start there, and I promise you the rest will fall into place.
Wonderful. I mean, you heard it here from the expert himself. Close to 10 years of experience in writing and publishing some of the best-selling books we've seen from a self-publishing point of view. So you can see that it can be done. From Sewela Langeni, that has been the TMS Book Club. We thank you, Darren, for being part of us.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for watching.